Going to record this class, but none of your names or videos will be recorded, and it will be up on the YouTube channel if you ever want to watch it later. I'm just going to read the waiver and then we'll go ahead and get started. In order to make these classes as freely accessible to our participants as possible, we will be using a verbal warning and assumption of risk at the beginning of class. Participation in this online class is voluntary. Physical activity programs may result in injury, and by participating, you assume the risk of injury that may result from your participation. We strongly recommend that you participate from a space that is suitable for this activity. For example, make sure that you've moved nearby furniture and other potential hazards. If you are participating in yoga class or class that involves lying on the ground, we recommend using a mat, or if you don't have one, a carpeted area. Participants are encouraged to stop if they experience pain or injury and should seek appropriate medical advice and care as needed. William Mary Health and Wellness strongly recommends that each participant have an annual physical examination and follow the healthcare advice of your provider before participating. Okay. And as always, please type in the chat if you ever can't hear me or something. I'll try my best to fix it. We're going to go ahead and get started in child's pose, bringing our big toes together, knees wide, and melting our chest down towards the mat. Just really relaxing into this pose here, releasing your day. Spreading your fingertips wide, pressing especially into your pointer finger and your thumb. Try to press your hips further back towards your heels. Release your shoulders away from your ears. Take one more nice deep breath here. Nice deep breath out. Knowing that you can always come back to this pose whenever you would like. You can even stay here the entire class, and that's so great. Walking both hands over towards the right, pressing your left hand on top of your right hand, opening up your side body here. And then coming back to center and going over towards the other side, pressing your left hand on top, your right hand on top of your left hand. And then coming back to center and coming up to tabletop when you're ready, with your wrists right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips, making sure that your feet are directly behind your knees. So when you look through your thighs, you should be able to see them. Starting to drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, look up towards the sky for cow. And exhale into cat, rounding your back, looking towards your thighs. Good, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale into cow, really broaden your collarbone. Exhale into cat. Good, last time, inhale. And exhale. Then coming back to that neutral spine, starting to extend your right arm and your left leg out. We're just going to tap our fingers and toes down to the ground and then lift them up. And we're going to come out to like a diagonal line. Then bring your hand and leg to center. Tap down, inhale up, then out to that diagonal line. Good, just starting to engage your core here. Adding that movement to that diagonal really helps engage your obliques and starts to increase your shoulder mobility. Really pulling that core up and in, feeling your side abs engage when you go out to the side. Let's do one more. Then place that hand and knee down on the ground and go straight into the other side. Left arm, right leg. Engage your core. Tap down, inhale up, then to that diagonal. Good. In addition to warming up your abs and your shoulder, this is also working your leg, especially your hamstring. Let's take 2 more rounds of this. When you're done, placing your hands and knees down on the ground, crossing your ankles and coming back to a seat to stretch out our neck and our shoulders. Sitting up nice and tall, rolling those shoulders back, taking some shoulder rolls towards the front of the room. And then reverse your direction towards the back of the room. And then take some wrist circles. Then go the other way. And just put the backs of your hands together and just make your fingers go forward and back, releasing your wrists here. And then hold on to your fingers and pull your hand away from you, stretching out your forearm. I guess you're pulling your hand towards you, kind of. And then switch sides. Releasing your hands onto your knees. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Coming up to center, bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. One more time. Inhale, center. Exhale, left for the last time. Good. Coming back to center, look down towards your lap, and then interlace your fingers behind your head, very, very gently pulling on your neck a little bit to get an extra stretch. Inhale, open your elbows out to the side, broaden your collarbone and your shoulders out, looking up towards the sky. Then come back into that curled position, looking down towards the ground. Inhale, expand everything, look up. Exhale, curl down. Good. Inhale, expand. Exhale, curl. Releasing that, come back to that neutral spine. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale through heart center and down. Good. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last time, inhale up and stay at the top, tipping over towards the right, stretching out your side body here, rotating your shoulders open towards the ceiling. Then coming up to center, going over towards the other side, making sure both hips stay on the ground. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale up to center and exhale to the left. Okay, coming back to center, folding forward over your crossed legs, rocking side to side to warm up your lower back and your hips. Then coming back up to center, inhale your arms up again, twisting towards either side, bringing your hand across your thigh, looking over your back shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Coming back to center, interlacing your hands behind your back and rolling your shoulder blades together, just opening your chest here. You can try to lift your hands away from your back. Your palms can be together or apart, whichever is more comfortable to you. And then switch how your hands are interlaced so the opposite thumb is on top, making sure we're stretching our collarbones evenly. Releasing that, shaking out your wrists, and then coming back into tabletop. Good, tucking your toes under and pressing back to downward facing dog, pedaling out your feet here. Just moving however feels comfortable to you. We're going to do a twist in downward facing dog. So bring your feet to the width of the mat and walk your hands back towards your feet about 4 inches. Then you're going to bring your left hand to your right ankle and look through underneath your right arm. Coming back to center, bring that right hand to your left ankle, look through. You can bend your knees as much as you want. And then coming back to center, look forward towards your hands. Start to walk your feet up to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, pausing here, really flattening your back. And exhale, forward fold with your knees bent. You can grab onto opposite elbows and sway side to side. You can nod your head yes and no. Always releasing tension from your spine and your neck. Try to straighten your legs a little bit. And then release that bind. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way down. And then one vertebrae at a time, coming up to standing. Your head is the last thing to rise. Inhale your arms out and up. And then tip over towards the right, bringing your right hand to your leg. Inhale up to center. Tip over towards the left. Coming back up to center. Bring your hands to heart center. Pausing here and closing your eyes. Really rolling your shoulders back, pulling your core in. Feeling your feet connected to the earth. Feeling the difference in your body between now and when we started class just a few minutes ago. Thank yourself for making this difference. Start to open your eyes and then inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, stepping back to plank and holding here. Again, pulling that core up and in. Your core is the foundation for all your movements. Then press back to downward facing dog. Look forward towards your hands. Step back up to that forward fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Bring your arms all the way out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back to plank, holding again. Then bringing your knees down to the ground. And then with your elbows hugging in towards your body, lower your body down to the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, whichever feels better to you. Rolling those shoulders back, just stretching out your back and your stomach here. And then pressing back to downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up to three-legged dog. You can bend your knee and open up your hip, so either your foot or your knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. Then step that foot through in between your hands, coming down onto your back knee for low lunge. Stretching out that back hip flexor, making sure your front knee is either right over your front ankle or slightly behind it. Again, broadening your collarbones here. Pausing for one more inhale. One more exhale. And then bringing your hands up to your thigh. If you would like to, you can always stay down on the ground. Getting a little bit of a deeper stretch. Making sure that that back leg is at a diagonal line instead of your hip being in line with your knee. Keep that right arm on your right leg and extend your left arm up and over, getting that nice stretch in your side body. Then bringing both hands down on either side of your front foot and pressing back to half splits, straightening your front leg, flexing your front foot. Lengthen your spine here. On every inhale, imagine you're getting a little more length in your spine. And on every exhale, imagine you're folding like a millimeter more towards your leg. And then placing that left hand down on the ground, inhale your right arm up, stretching that IT band and your hamstring here. Bringing your hand back down to the ground, coming back forward to that low lunge, tucking your left toes under, shoot your right leg up for three-legged dog again, and then bring it down to meet your left foot. We're going to switch sides, so inhale that left leg up, bend your knee and open up your hip. And then stepping that foot through in between your hands, coming down onto your back knee for low lunge. Kind of moving around, feeling where you feel that stretch in your hip flexor the most. It's kind of nice on Zoom. You can move around however feels good to you, and no one is seeing what you're doing, so you can really do whatever you want. Pausing here for one more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Bringing your hands up to your thigh if you would like. Trying to press your hips a little more forward, getting a little more of a stretch. And then leaving that right arm on that left arm on your left leg, extending your right arm up and over. Bringing your hands back down on either side of your front foot, then pressing back to half splits, straightening that front leg, making sure that your hips are square. So you're like pushing that right hip forward and pulling your left hip back. Pausing here for 2 more breaths, letting the back of our left leg open up here. And then planting your right hand down, inhale your left arm up towards the sky. Bring that hand back down, come back forward to your low lunge, tuck your right toes under, pressing back to three-legged dog, and then releasing that foot back down. You can pedal out your feet a little bit. Looking forward towards your hands, step your right foot forward in between your hands, coming up to warrior one. So both your heels are on the ground here. Your front knee is again bent either right over your front ankle or slightly behind it. Really pressing into the back edge of your back foot. Your hips are square like headlights on a car. Start to straighten your front leg and then fold down into pyramid. You can leave your legs exactly where they are, or you can step that back foot in a little bit if that's more comfortable to you. This is a more intense version of half splits, so really getting into your hamstrings today. Making sure that your feet are on railroad tracks instead of a tightrope, so you have room to balance. While you're here, you can nod your head yes and no. Taking one more deep inhale, lengthen your spine. One more deep exhale, fold a little deeper. Then bend your front knee, step your back foot in to meet your front foot, and then step your right foot back, coming into warrior one on the other side. That back foot should be at about a 45-degree angle, and then your front toes are facing forward. You can always keep your hands at heart center as well if you don't want to put them up towards the sky. Taking one more breath in here. Exhale, straighten your front leg and fold down into pyramid. Again, squaring your hips. So pulling your left hip back and your right hip forward. You can step that back foot in again if you want. Taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths here. On your last inhale, lengthen your spine. And on your last exhale, try to fold a little deeper. Bending your front knee, bring your back foot in to meet your front foot. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold. We're going to walk our feet out to the width of the mat with our toes in and our toes out and our heels in. Then coming down into Malasana. Bringing your elbows inside of your legs, really pressing into your legs. And then try to release your arms in front of you and leave your legs exactly where they are. So you're really using your hip mobility to keep you here. We're just staying here for one more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your feet back to hips width apart and then bend your knees a lot. Walk your hands all the way underneath your feet with your palms facing up. So your toes come all the way to your wrist creases. This is called gorilla pose. You can try to straighten your legs a little bit if you would like to. Make sure there's a micro bend in them at least though. And then releasing that, grabbing onto your big toes with your peace fingers, lengthen your spine, and then pull yourself down over your legs. Again, bend your knees. Your elbows can come out to the sides. You can nod your head yes and no. Releasing that when you're ready. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Then bring your arms all the way out and up. And bring your hands to heart center. Pausing here for just a second because we were folded for so long. Just letting the blood rush out of your head. Then bringing your hands to your lower back with your palms facing up or down. Just start to take a little mini back bend. Really pressing your hips forward. And coming back up to center. Your hands can come to heart center again. And then really plant into your left foot. Then you're going to bring your right knee up and into your chest. Then start to tip forward to warrior three. You can bring your hands down to the ground. That back leg is straight out behind you. And then stand back up with your knee into your chest. I know this is hard, but you guys got it. It's a really good flow to work on your balance. Tipping back into that warrior three. And inhale back up to standing. Then last time back to warrior three. This time everyone put your hands down on the ground. Really try to lift that back leg up. And then squat down into this weird little squat where your knees come together. It's called Kundalini's descent. Then extend both your legs back to warrior three. Good. Exhale, bend into the squat. Inhale, extend. And exhale, bend. Last time, inhale, extend. Bring your hands back to heart center. Stand back up with your knee into your chest. Then extend your leg out in front of you using your core to hold that leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Releasing that leg down. You can shake out your arms and your legs here. And we're going to go on to the other side. You guys are doing great. Planting into that right foot. Imagine you have like a triangle of balance with your big toe, your pinky toe, and your heel all pressing into the ground, keeping you very rooted. Bring your hands to heart center and your left knee into your chest. Either point or flex your foot, keeping it super engaged. Getting your balance here, and then tipping into warrior three. Good. Coming back up to standing with your knee into your chest. Then come back to warrior three. Last time, inhale up. Exhale, warrior three. Put your hands down on the ground. Really try to lift that back leg up, keeping your hips square though, so not opening out to the side. We're going to do that in a second. And then start to bend your knees together, coming into Kundalini's descent. Inhale, warrior three, extend your legs. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. And exhale, bend. Last time, inhale. Bring your hands up to heart center. And stand back up with your knee into your chest. Extend that leg out in front of you, holding it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Releasing your leg down. Shake everything out here. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, stepping back to plank. Holding here for a second, and then we're going to swivel our feet towards the left. So our left arm is down and our right arm is up for side plank. Really pressing your hips up towards the sky. Then coming back to center, swivel your feet the other way. Your right hand is down, your left arm is up. Good, really pulling your abs in. Then coming back to plank and pressing back to downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank, and exhale, press back, downward facing dog. We're going to do that 3 more times. Inhale, forward, exhale, back, warming up your, not really warming up, working your shoulders and your core. Inhale, forward, exhale, back. 2 more, inhale, and exhale. Last time, inhale, plank. And press back, downward facing dog. Coming down to a child's pose with your knees together and your arms behind you. Just releasing your lower back here. You can rock side to side. Have your palms facing up so you're releasing those wrists up towards the ceiling. Taking 2 nice deep breaths here, just reconnecting with your breathing, slowing your heart rate. And then when you're ready, coming back up to tabletop, leaving your hips and your knees exactly where they are. We're just going to walk our hands forward, bringing your chest and your forehead down to the ground into happy puppy pose. This pose is really good for opening up your back and your shoulders, and also for releasing anxiety. Holding here for one more breath in, one more breath out. Walking your hands back into tabletop, tucking your toes under and pressing back to downward facing dog. Looking forward towards your hands, step your right foot forward in between your hands. And then you're gonna press off your back leg into standing splits. You don't have to lift your leg very high though. You're just gonna bring that left leg up as much as you can. So it's like you're doing the splits in the air. This is really good for stretching and also strengthening. Also, if you can do the splits in the air, you can definitely do the splits on the ground. So it's a nice way to practice. You can use that right hand to grab onto your right leg and pull yourself a little deeper. And then you're going to release that left leg really gently back into that low lunge. You're going to release your knee down to the ground. And then bring both hands inside of your front foot. Coming into lizard pose here. First, hugging that knee into your arm. Broadening your collarbone. And then if you would like to, you can start to flex your right foot and let your knee come out towards the side, feeling the stretch more in your outer hip this time. You can come down onto your forearms. Taking one more deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Pressing back up onto your hands, bringing your knee back to center. Bring your hands on either side of your front foot and pressing back to downward facing dog. Stepping that left foot forward in between your hands, looking forward, really using a lot of power in your legs. Press off your back foot, bringing that right leg up just as much as you can, even if it's only a few inches off the ground. Just really practice lifting that leg up. You can grab onto your left leg with your left hand and pull yourself deeper. It's okay if your sides are completely uneven. Mine definitely are. Taking one more breath in here. Exhale, releasing that back foot back to the ground. And then bringing your knee down into low lunge, bringing both hands inside of your front foot for lizard. First, hugging that knee in before we let it go out to the side. And then if you would like to, flexing your left foot, letting your knee go out to the left, and then you can bring your forearms down to the ground. When you're ready, pressing yourself back up onto your hands. Bring your hands on either side of your front foot, stepping back to downward facing dog. Then coming down to a tabletop pose, then coming back up onto your knees. Tucking your toes under behind you, and then really pressing your hips forward. We're going to bring our right hand to our right heel. Then bring your left hand up and over into one armed camel, one-sided camel, something like that. Coming back up to center, bring your left hand to your left foot, your right arm goes up and over to the other side. Coming back up to center, and then sit back on your heels, just releasing that here. Put your hands on your knees, and we're going to do like cat-cow, but kneeling. So really use your hands to arch your back, look up towards the ceiling. And then again, using your hands, push on your legs, arch your back, looking down towards your lap. And inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Coming back up to that neutral spine. We're going to do one more pose before we go to lying down on the ground, and it's going to be frog. So you can go to like the long side of your mat, and then you want to bring your knees as wide as you can. You can roll up your mat and put it underneath your knees, or you can put your knees on pillows or something like that. And then you can come down onto your forearms, and then if that's comfortable, you can lie down on the ground, making sure that your lower legs are at like perpendicular angles to your upper legs. And then you can lie down on the ground if you want, or you can stay up on your forearms. Either way, this is a really good release for your hips. Make sure you're also flexing your feet. Trying to breathe into any discomfort here. If there's pain, definitely go back, but just a little discomfort is increasing our hip mobility. Taking one more breath in here. One more breath out. I like to put my feet together and then like press myself up and out of that pose. And then we're just gonna take a seat on our mat, bring our knees up towards the sky, just windshield wiper your knees from side to side, releasing your hips and your lower back from that pose. And then coming back up to center, scoot forward so you have enough room to lie down. And slowly, one vertebrae at a time, coming down to the mat. Pulling your right knee in towards your chest, extending that left leg out. You can rock your knee from side to side. Then hold onto your knee with your right hand and bring your knee out towards the right. You can press down on your left leg with your left hand if you want. This is that same motion that we were just doing in frog. Then coming back up to center, hold onto your knee with your left hand this time and bring it across towards the left for a twist. You can extend your right arm out, follow it with your gaze. This pose is really good for releasing, especially your lower back. Try to not use any muscle engagement, so you're just kind of letting yourself melt into the pose. Coming back up to center, hugging that left leg in, extending your right leg out, rocking your knee from side to side. And then holding onto your knee with your left hand, bringing it out towards the left. You can press down on that right hip or leg with your right hand. Try to release both your shoulders down towards the mat. And bring that knee back up to center. Hold onto your leg with your right hand this time, coming into that twist, extending your left arm out, following it with your gaze. Then coming back up to center, extend both legs up towards the ceiling, flexing your feet, letting all the blood rush out of your feet. Also getting a little stretch in the back of your legs. This pose is another one that's really good for anxiety, and it also energizes you at the same time, so it's like the best of both worlds. Again, releasing your shoulders down towards the mat. Then grabbing onto outside edges of your feet, coming into happy baby. Trying to press your shoulders and your tailbone into the ground. You can hold on to your big toes with your peace fingers and extend one or both legs. Coming back to center, bringing your feet down to the mat with your feet together and your knees wide. One hand to your belly and one hand to your chest, coming into reclined butterfly here. Taking a few nice deep breaths. Trying to breathe into your belly, letting your inhales expand and exhales contract. You can keep doing that, or if you would like to, you can use your hands to press into your thighs. This helps decompress your spine. Keeping your shoulders down, just really imagine you're like pressing yourself away from your legs. Releasing that, you can start to extend your arms and your legs out on your mat. Getting comfy here. Knowing that all your hard work is done and all you have to do now is relax in Shavasana. You're welcome to stay here for longer, but if you would like to wake up with me, slowly start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms over your head for one final full body stretch. Hug your knees into your chest, giving yourself a big hug. You can rock side to side. Thanking yourself for making this time for your mind and your body today. Rolling over onto your right side. When you're ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat with your hands at heart center and your eyes closed. Thank you so much for coming and practicing with me today. The light in my heart honors and cherishes the light inside of each and every one of yours. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for coming to Yogalates. I hope you liked it. I'm going to stop the recording now, so if any of you want to stay and talk to me or ask any questions, I would love to talk.